Hello, wonderful. This is Sarah. Have you ever heard someone say, I've invested too much to quit now? Okay. And I hear this all the time when people are thinking about leaving a toxic situation, a toxic workplace, a toxic relationship, a toxic marriage, I hear it all the time. I actually had a dear friend who was trying to decide. She got into a relationship that she felt like was not a fit. And I said, you know, what I can say from talking to many people, no idea how many people I've talked to about this subject, but many people, thousands, is that most people take too long to make a decision. And I've heard a lot of people say, I wish I had left sooner. I've heard few to no people say, I wish I left later. And if they do say they wish they left later, it's because the toxic situation continued even after they left. So basically, what they're saying is, hey, I realized they were toxic. I left and then they kept being toxic. And I'm like, yeah, but they wouldn't have changed personalities because you left. Right. So, many people say, I wish I'd left sooner. 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 Whether it be a toxic person or a toxic situation. Okay. And I want to point out the idea of sunk cost fallacy. So, this situation's making me miserable, but I'm going to keep being miserable because I've already been miserable for so long. Okay. Or, I've been buying stream stock, and I don't even know if stream stock exists. I'll say Sarah Stream, just so I don't, tank somebody's stock that I didn't know exists. So Sarah Stream, making it up, completely fiction related. Okay, so Sarah Stream, and I've been investing in Sarah Stream for 6 years, and I've lost money every year. It's been terrible. It's been miserable, but I've already been doing it for 6 years, so I might as well do it for 7. Okay. And I think it's always easier to see when it's someone else. So I use the example of my daughter, and she experienced, a lot of education disruption during COVID, as many children did. Okay. So when I try to homeschool, it's not very fun because I switch roles, and she's like such a good little worker for her teacher. And then when it's mom saying, read this passage, she's like, whoa, why do I have to? Okay. So, as many mothers probably can experience. And so when she missed a bunch of school, I got her a reading tutor. Okay. Just to kind of make up some of the education time lost, like a lot of education time lost, as many of you understand. And so when I talk about this situation, I say, okay, if I was with a reading tutor, if I hired a reading tutor and I'd given this reading tutor 2 years to teach my daughter reading, and then she couldn't read, do you suggest I hire this person for year 3? 100% of people say, no, you should not hire that reading tutor for year 3. But sunk cost fallacy says, but I've already invested 2 years in this reading tutor. It'll be a lot of work to find another reading tutor. But I mean, maybe I just keep hoping. Maybe I'll just need to do some affirmations about, reading tutors, right? It's a bad idea. And I've seen this with therapists. I've seen, people say, well, I've already had my therapist for 2 years. Well, what were you working on? Confidence. Do you feel confident now? Well, not really. We're going back into this. Okay. How long is enough time? You've given someone 2 years? How long is enough time? And let's say it's a toxic relationship. Okay. I'm not saying that, therapists are toxic. I'm just saying, like, when you're making a decision about whether to change or whether to keep doing things the same, I don't want you to get stuck in Well, I've already put so much into this. I have to just keep doing it. It's a bad idea 100% of the time. When people say, "What should I do?" I said, "What have you tried?" "Well, I've tried XYZ." "How long have you been trying it?" And there's not a definitive thing. I use 2 years because that's a really good example. If something has been going wrong for 2 years, if something's been going wrong for a year, I might be really likely to push it, depending on, uh, the situation, a relationship, or definitely a relationship. Maybe you start a business, you're trying to still get things off the ground. Maybe a year is too early. But for most situations, I've been miserable for a year. Okay, what have you tried? I've tried this, I've tried that, I've tried this, I've tried that, I've tried reading this, I've tried communicating this way, I've tried, mindset stuff, I've tried affirmations, I've tried boundaries, I've tried, okay, you've already tried, and enough time has passed. Don't fall into sunk cost fallacy, which says, I'm going to just keep doing the same thing over and over again, hoping to get different results because I've already invested this much in it. Please, 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 as you think about your next steps, maybe you've been thinking about a career change, a relationship change, a life change. What have you tried? This. Has it worked? No. The answer is always to try something else. If you've tried something and it hasn't worked, the answer is to try something else. Easy decision. You can life coach yourself. It's how I life coach myself. What have you tried? Have you put in the work? Yes. Has it worked? No. Try something else. Okay. Don't fall victim to sunk cost fallacy. Hope that helps you on your journey to becoming toxic person proof.